Our next project is coming from a Toronto-based filmmaker team, Daniel Bekerman and Daniel Coburn. The project's title is The Engineers. About the pitching team, Daniel Bekerman is a Toronto-based producer whose most recent film, Bruce McDonald's The Husband, is having its world premiere tonight here at the festival. Daniel also co-produced Nathan Morlando's award-winning Edwin Boyd, which premiered here at the festival in 2011. Dan is an alumni of the TIFF Talent Lab and TIFF Studio. Daniel Coburn's first feature, You Are Here, screened at over 40 major film festivals, including here at TIFF, Locarno, and Rotterdam, and won the Toronto Film Critics Association's J. Scott Prize for Emerging Talent. He has made over 25 short films and videos, which have screened at festivals and galleries worldwide, and a publication about his work is forthcoming from the Canadian Film Institute. Daniel is also an alumni of TIFF Talent Lab. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Daniel Bekerman and Daniel Coburn with The Engineers.
Hello, my name is Daniel Bekerman. I've been working as a producer and line producer for the last 6 years, and over that time I've been responsible for budgets that total over $45 million. A few years ago, it was a real privilege to produce a movie called You Are Here, which, if this thingy would do its thing. All right, there we go, this beautiful graphic. So You Are Here was written and directed by Daniel Coburn, and Daniel and I worked on that movie, and we had a lot of critical success with it, and lots of, I think it's, oh, there we go. And people said lovely things like this, and these wonderful things people said helped us get attention, and the attention we needed to get a theatrical release in Canada and the US, and we also sold it to other countries around the world. So since then, Daniel has been working on this project called The Engineers, and this is about a successful novelist named Keith, who sells a lot of books in the checkout counter, but gets critically panned and does not get the love he wants from critics, and he's desperate for his next novel to be a hit with the critics. Now, over the last few years since You Are Here, Daniel has been in a different sort of phase in his life, and he's been doing a lot of work, and he's found it very helpful to be in therapy, and we thought it would be good if his therapist, Richard, came with him today to talk through The Engineers, as Daniel tells you a little more about it, and they can tell you some more.
So, how are you today?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm actually pretty excited because I think I've sort of figured out what to do about Keith in the screenplay.
Okay, well, I really want to know how you are today, if that's possible.
Well,
yeah?
Like I said, I figured out what to do with my screenplay. Because, the problem was that, we knew that Keith is this really commercially successful novelist who wants desperately to be able to write three-dimensional, fully developed, living, breathing characters, but he's at a total loss about how to do that. So I realized, and this is inspired by the work that you and I have been doing together in therapy, actually. But so what he's going to do is he's going to hire a couple of actors to go to therapy on a regular basis while pretending to be characters from the novel that he's writing, so they can uncover things about themselves and bring them back to him, and he can put that in his book.
In individual therapy or couples therapy? Couples
counseling, actually. That's a good question, because it turns out the movie is really going to be about couples in a large way, because we have Keith and Robin, his wife. Keith's the novelist, and Robin is his editor, his longtime editor, and they, for years, have had this wildly successful franchise of novels. And these novels are about another married couple, Jason and Jana Nightingale. And the Nightingales are a pair of secret agents who are also in love and married. And every book is about a new mission that they have. But I realize now the third couple in our story is going to be Frank and Astor. And they're not a real couple, but these are the actors that Keith has hired to play the Nightingales in the therapy context.
So how does Keith feel about these actors playing his characters?
Pretty strongly, as it turns out, because he ends up falling in love with Astor.
And what does he see in Astor? What's going on there?
Well, I think, I guess if you spend a lot of your life, in an imaginary place that you've created, but also you realize that place isn't populated by living, breathing people. None of the people there are actually real. Then if you eventually finally come into contact with a living, breathing person from that world that you've created, as he does in Astor, that's going to be pretty exciting, and it's going to galvanize him, I think. Unfortunately, what it does is it makes him think of Frank, the actor who's playing Astor's husband. Keith is going to start thinking of Frank as his rival now, so he's going to start messing about with the story and making Frank and Astor be really antagonistic to each other in the therapy context. His book is going to end with Jason and Jana Nightingale becoming mortal enemies and killing each other, and his wife will see what's happened to his book, and she'll realize he's in love with another woman, and his whole marriage will go off the rails. Everything's going to blow up in his face.
So do you think Keith is pursuing these relationships with fictional characters at the expense of his real relationships?
I guess that question is kind of what the movie's about in a way, because we're all playing characters all the time, right? To ourselves and to each other. But if the character that I'm playing and the character that you're playing can at least have a moment of genuine human interaction, then that means that you and I, between us, are having a moment of genuine human interaction, right?
Okay, our time's up.
The engineers. The engineers will be made for a budget of $1.6 million, and although I may not be a whiz with PowerPoint clickers, I am a whiz with budgets. I've done over 20 feature films. And I want to say that our industry was founded by directors with very strong visions and unique voices. And our belief is that if we can take the rich world of ideas that was in You Are Here and bring it to a character-driven narrative story, that we can bring Daniel's unique voice to audiences around the world.